Hey, what's up everyone? With all of these cataclysmic events taking place around this world, even CNN is actually reporting on it. So they're actually telling some actual relevant news. They stated volcanoes, geysers, earthquakes. Mother Earth is doing all kinds of crazy stuff in the US right now. Not just the United States, but everywhere. Like they say, when it rains it pours, and erupts, and flows, and shakes, and swelters, and blows, and generally wreaks havoc around the country. So according to CNN, they stated it's not like we're looking at the end of times, which how would they know that, but you have to admit there's a lot of wild and scary Mother Nature stuff happening across the US right now. The devastating lava flows in Hawaii are probably the scariest, but geysers, earthquakes, and heavy rains are rattling the earth from California to Florida. And now, today, and yesterday, we've had all of these strong storms wreaking havoc. We had, across the United States, they had weather anomalies up in Michigan. They had the East Coast has been battered with storms. Several 100,000 people are without power, without electricity. They have electrical lines down, trees are uprooted, massive devastation and destruction, cloud-to-ground lightning, massive lightning, and they had lots of deaths, well, several deaths, and several injuries. I'm not exactly sure how many, but so far I think the death count was over 6, and the injuries I'm not sure about, but I'll have to look that up. But they said that there's a lot of stuff happening with Mother Nature right now. The devastating lava flows in Hawaii are probably the scariest seen so far, but geysers, earthquakes, and heavy rains are rattling the earth from California to Florida, and we're just entering tornado and hurricane season now. They already stated we have a possible hurricane, or at least a tropical storm, forming off of the coast in the Gulf of Mexico. They said the warm Gulf moisture, is pulling it in, and it does look that there might be enough moisture to form a possible tropical storm, maybe even a hurricane, but right now it's looking to be just a tropical storm going into the Gulf of Mexico as of next week. So I'll keep an eye on that, and let me know if that does wind up happening. I'll let you know if it does happen. We'll see what happens, but it's looking like there could be an actual, either a tropical storm or a hurricane, but right now I'm going with tropical storm. That's what we're going to go with, a tropical storm that could be hitting the Gulf of Mexico after next Monday. So we'll see. Into the Louisiana area, the bayou, down in the bayou. A lot of storms going on down there. Oh well. Anyway, I hope and pray everyone is safe, and I hope they're all well and safe, and that everything that it doesn't hit them. I hope that it just fizzles and goes away. So we'll see what happens. Is it anything to be alarmed about? CNN asks. Well, not necessarily, but all these crazy natural happenings at the same exact time, make for a fascinating coincidence. I really don't find it to be a coincidence. I think the Earth and Mother Nature is ticked, and that things are definitely just... And I do believe that also humans are manipulating things. The elites and the government do manipulate things. I really still believe that. And weather modification does take place, and that humans can manipulate natural events. So, well, the elites can. And also, it's prophetic as well. I mean, it's the times in which we're living, prophetic times. Prophecy is unfolding. Now, moving on back to the smoldering flows of glowing red and crusty black lava have been consuming parts of Hawaii's Big Island since May 3rd of this year, and residents just got more bad news. 2 new fissures opened up near the Kilauea volcano over the weekend, belching more lava and fumes and plumes of lava hurtling into the sky. So now it's over 20. It was 18 at the time, but now it's 20. And another thing that took place was, like I just stated in my previous video, there have been several ton boulders, just as predicted, hurtled up into the sky for a good ways, and also lava shot up over 1 mile into the sky yesterday from the new fissure that opened up. So from the new opening that This is not working. Okay, nearly 2,000 people have been evacuated from the new area, and there may be more eruptions to worry about in the near future as lava mixes with groundwater and creates what is known as steam explosions. Even after everything has settled down, the threat of volcanic smog and acid rain may still linger. Another unusual thing that's been taking place is a geyser eruption at Yellowstone. There have been multiple geyser eruptions at Yellowstone, which is something that you usually don't see, they stated. You're supposed to have maybe one per year, if that. There's also more movement under the earth on the United States mainland. Wyoming's Steamboat Geyser in Yellowstone National Park just erupted for the 5th time this year. The temper of this world's largest active geyser is fairly hard to predict, but 5 times in a year is notable considering the last time it erupted before then was in 2014. The Yellowstone caldera is an ancient supervolcano sleeping under a large part of the northwestern area of Wyoming. It's a popular subject of apocalyptic imagination, but don't bother running to your disaster shelter, they state, just yet, because a scientist with the USGS said that there don't seem to be a direct relationship right now, but I wouldn't doubt. I mean, I wouldn't say that right away, because between the geyser and the eruptions of the caldera activity, I think they're trying to not put a fear factor out there, not trying to do a scare factor. But the USGS also assured watchers on Twitter and YouTube that such eruptions are normal in frequency. I wouldn't say they're normal in this kind of frequency, but they are normal in frequency to happen. Geysers do erupt all the time. They said it's what they do, but usually 1 to 2 a year. It just happened to be we had 5 this year, but I still wouldn't let your guard down. Small earthquakes can happen all the time in and around the United States, but every once in a while a series of them called a swarm will jostle apart, or at least one particular area, and set people on edge. That happened in Southern California over the weekend with dozens of small tremors where they were recorded in the Ocotillo Wells area of east of San Diego. According to the USGS, 6 of these were larger than a 3 on the Richter magnitude scale. Don Blackman, a geophysicist with the USGS National Earthquake Information Center, told CNN, swarms like this last weekend, they usually die out. No, you should not be worried about this little swarm they claim, but keep in mind that a large earthquake can happen in seismically active Southern California at any time. And as you can see here, with this weather system pushed into Florida, the 4% chance of tropical development that you see right there that I was speaking of a moment ago, moving toward the Gulf of Mexico and Louisiana. As you can see right there, this rain battering Florida right now. So what they have to say is there's no trembling earth or fiery lava in Florida, but they've been getting a heck of a lot of rain, a lot of it. Meteorologists are watching an area of disturbed weather in the eastern Gulf of Mexico. Could it be a tropical storm or hurricane? Some slow development is possible with this system. The meteorologists state that there's a roughly 40% chance as of Tuesday that this storm could become a tropical or subtropical system over the next 5 days. Even if no storm forms, the system will make for some legendary soggy weather. Widespread rain of up to 8 inches are likely in Florida. Hennon says that the soggy weather will eventually make its way north of the coast for an area feeling the effects of this year's Hurricane Irma. That's not exactly welcome news. If you're not experiencing all of these disastrous occurrences, record heat is almost everywhere. And where they're not getting record heat, they're getting cold weather or extreme cold or record cool weather or something. Something's happening somewhere, basically. If you aren't in the vicinity of lava, earthquakes, geysers, or intense rain, chances are you're still unseasonably hot. Not to mention the 3 inches of hail that fell in Colorado. They had snow in like 5 states, and the other places were drenching with rain. And those that weren't were extremely hot, feeling of 100 degrees. So it's been crazy. Cities in Illinois, Indiana, and other states in the south of the Gulf will see record highs this week. Places in Tennessee and Kentucky, temperatures in the 90s. CNN's Dave Hennon says temperatures running 15 degrees above average overall. On Sunday, the National Weather Service reported the high on Sunday of 85 in Seattle, Washington, of all places. The next morning, on Monday, the Weather Service said it was 58 degrees in Seattle. That was a new record high minimum temperature. And there may be more to come. Again, from a geological and meteorological standpoint, all of these events are nothing more, they claim, than a lot of different stuff happening at once. However, brace yourself for more wild and potentially dangerous weather in the weeks and months ahead. June 1st marks the beginning of the Atlantic hurricane season, which is bad news for places like Puerto Rico, because Puerto Rico is still recovering from last year's spate of devastating storms. Oh, and the late spring and early summer is also when the Midwest sees the most tornadoes. That's a lot to think about, but remember, worrying doesn't achieve anything, preparedness does, so they're just preparing you ahead of time by telling you what's likely to happen. Here are some of the resources in the USGS and earthquake centers for preparing for earthquakes and volcanoes, for hurricane areas, and all that information you can find right here from the National Hurricane and Weather Service Center. And if you're living in tornado country, here's some resources from FEMA, and you can find this out on this website here, and I'll post the link below. So that's all for now. I just wanted to tell you what's going on across, well, everywhere. There's all kinds of things happening. So it's literally everything. Anyway, much love. Stay as safe as possible. I can't believe my phone is actually working temporarily. It won't go, it's weird. It won't go horizontal unless the reason why it's going horizontal is because I made a YouTube video full screen and then went directly back to Chrome, my Chrome browser. Once I go back to the home screen, it won't go that way. I mean, it won't go horizontal anymore. It'll just be vertical, so it's crazy. Anyway, much love and peace. CNN actually reported on some relevant news. Anyway, much love. I thank you for watching. That's all for this video. Peace. Bye.